I can do it right here, recording in cloud. Perfect. So it looks like we are recording now. This is the NMC to log in, right? Username, password, pretty simple. The one thing I do want to look at kind of this home screen is if this link up here is sent to a carrier or a customer, they can sign themselves up right here by going through the workflow. Say we've worked really hard to create accounts for all carriers. So they shouldn't have to create one themselves by inviting them. You link that carrier to their specific data in the FMCSA. So they don't have to fill everything out. It should be a much simpler process, but they can go through this process to get signed up right from this link. Going through as a customer to show you information here, we're going to log in and it will drop us into our admin page. For the P44 side, we'll then impersonate the customer. So we're going to do Nolan here. Full impersonate. So we'll look in, we drop into their account group here. This first page is a dashboard. So all customers and carriers will have this dashboard as they invite carriers into the system. So a 3PL or shipper inviting their subcontractors, their carriers, their asset providers to the system will have this dashboard pop up. If there have been no carriers invited yet, this will sit with two instructions, one to add your ELD, one to add your carrier. So it depends on what workflow you want to take first. As a carrier, you'll have the option to add your ELD or GPS. Specifically for brokers, we don't see this being used much unless they have an asset side available to them that is not also linked to a different MC or DOT number that will be listed as a carrier on the site. So that is one differentiator we do want to make. So if the brokerage team of an asset-based carrier has a different MC and DOT number, we will want to keep those two accounts totally separate for the time being. So they can invite each other as carriers, but we would look to have two separate accounts just so that it's searchable by the unique MC and DOT number available to those groups.
Got it. So to confirm for Nolan, for example, they're not going to use this because Nolan technically does not have an asset side to their company.
Correct. Yep. So they won't add a ELD or GPS here just because there is no real asset side for them.
Perfect.
Just as a demo, so for customers who will be inviting their carriers, just to show what a carrier has to go through to add their ELD, when the carrier logs in, they'll get to this tab. They hit create. It pops up all the ELD lists that we are connected to, so ELD or GPS. They can search by name or scroll through. As an example, I just like to use Samsara since it's a larger provider in North America. Click on Samsara, click next, and then it pops up here with a short screen, so I can zoom in if this is hard to read for anybody. But what we do see here is the Samsara instructions. So pictures, next steps, all of this lined out here, along with if you have any questions, who to contact at Project 44 for help. So the carrier has the ability to name that ELD connection. So if this is their Samsara connection, then they may have more than one that can add digits to them or whatever naming convention they want. So we'll call this Samsara 1. We'll add our API token and accept the data consent form and then hit next. So right now the Project 44 team or APIs are reaching out to Samsara to connect. They're checking that information, waiting to get an okay from Samsara. This can run in the background while other functions can be done. So I'll hit OK on this. We can see Samsara is attempting to connect. The next thing we want to do from a carrier perspective is click on the Customers tab. This will flow through what customers have invited or asked the carrier to share tracking data. So those emails will come through and you'll see pending requests start to populate in this bucket over here to the right, the pending customer requests. It gives the carrier two options, accept or decline. No matter which one they choose, it will alert the customer to that decision. So the customer will either see the carrier move over to a trackability standpoint in their screen, or they will get a declined message from the carrier letting them know the carrier declined wanting to share data with that customer. When a carrier does accept that, the customer, the invite moves from the pending screen to the customer screen to show that sharing is live with that customer. Any questions there?
No questions.
Perfect. Jumping over to the carrier side. So what we'll see is more use out of this in the 3PLs and the customers. This is where you will invite your carriers into the NMC. And so we've already got a fair amount, 330 carriers live here for ELD tracking. So this portal and this tool currently is limited to only ELD trackability carriers. The API carriers are getting built into the system as we speak. but right now, say this is for ELD tracking only. So what we'll have here is we got the 3 buckets: carriers who have accepted tracking, for in this instance, Nolan Transportation Group. We have the request history that shows all history of requests, so stuff sent out, accepted or declined. It's all listed here. And then we also have all pending carrier requests. So as you send out invites, if the carrier has yet to accept, this will sit in pending right here, giving you the option to cancel that pending request or to resend that pending request to that carrier. So any question on the screen before I jump into adding a carrier?
So for example, 4D Trucking and Logistics Inc., it says no assets, no ELD GPS added. Does that mean they've accepted and they haven't finished the steps, or why would I be showing no assets available?
Yep, very good question. So the first thing we want to talk about here is this status code, no ELD/GPS added, covers 2 things, and this will change for one of them here in the coming week. So no assets means that right now we are unable to ping that ELD for tracking updates, which falls into one of 2 categories on our side, and why we need to change that underlying status. So for lake ELDs that we cannot track 24/7 or ping to make sure the connection's still live, we can only, or we do only track when a customer has submitted a tracking request. That ELD type will fall into this status. So it doesn't necessarily mean there's no ELD or GPS added. It can mean that there's just no shipment being tracked. And when the shipment is tracked, it does jump to assets available. It can also, though, mean that no ELD or GPS has been added. The team in Denmark has actually put out a fix for this. I just don't know when it's going to get deployed. I asked Jeff Love this week, and he said it was supposed to be this week. But I think their deploy is scheduled for the 15th.
Okay.
Yeah, the 14th, so live on the 15th. Yep, but what we're going to have it say is assets available. ELD is currently not being tracked, something like that, or shipments are currently not being tracked. I don't remember the exact verbiage they were using, but once that is deployed, that will mean this status that we're seeing now, no assets, no ELD, GPS added, means the carrier has not gone through and added a GPS device in this screen.
Okay, so we are updating it right now to make it more clear when we mean no assets, if it's actually truly no assets, or if it's just it's not always on. We're still migrating in our system.
Exactly. Yep. So there's a bunch of different statuses that come through. So assets available, no assets are always the top main statuses, and then the reason codes behind that, those change. So like this one here, Liberty Transport, no assets, ELD, GPS not working. This means that the ELD they did connect an ELD, but the credentials failed. So just like my Samsara connections here where we have invalid credentials, same thing is going on for whatever ELD Liberty Transport is on. So this is a status and reason code at which the customer, in this case NTG, would want to reach out to Liberty Transport and say, hey, looks like you accepted to share data with us, looks like you put it into ELD device, but whatever information you put on around it is failing. You're going to want to go update that. That being said, the carrier is also getting these notifications from Project 44, but we will always ask our customer base, since they are the contractual and the money carrier for their money payer for the carriers, to lean on them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Yep. So to add a carrier, what we'll do is you click the add button in the carrier screen, and then you can invite either name, DOT, MC, SCAC. So all of those are searchable fields. I would advise using more unique identifiers. So the DOT is always the best way to search, or the MC. You can always use the name, but as we know, everything likes to be named transportation or logistics. So I do have a test carrier out there that I use for this, Mike. So Mike and Mark, if you guys do demos, feel free to use this. So it does portray what a non-auto accepting carrier looks like. So carriers can come in 2 categories. They're either auto accepting, which is the standard, or they choose to accept customer invites as they come in. So this will give you more of the full view of what it's like to receive an invite, what the invite looks like, etc. So I use Royce's trucking code test. You hit next, shows you the carrier contact people that you can reach out to, in this instance, me. So you have the ability to send the invite via Project 44 generated email in multiple languages here. or you can send the invitation link personally. So this is just a link to the NMC. You can put it in an email, send it to the carrier. It still gives the carrier direct access into their environment based off the information provided. And then we ask that you select a number of shipments. So let's just say we're going to send this to Royce's Trucking for, 4 shipments a week. Hit request. Says here that you've invited Royce's Trucking Co. Email's been sent. Once we accept, you'll see the data. Hit OK. We can see that the invitation is now in the pending side. We can see when it was sent, what time, who it was sent to, and then who their email as well. So that is all displayed here. You can cancel it. You can resend it. What I do want to focus on is this is the email that gets sent out to the carrier in this instance. So open this up here. I'm going to bring this over. Do you guys see this, or am I just sharing the NMC still?
You're just sharing just the NMC right now.
Perfect. Let me back up. So this
yes,
is the request. Yep.
Oh, so in the demo, because I don't have access to Royce's Gmail account.
No, it's whoever sends it. So it CCs whoever the sender is. So you.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, Mike, you jumped ahead of me there, man.
Sorry.
Let me get there. Yep. So you'll see the invite comes from Integration Americas. It's to whoever it was sent to, and CCs whoever the sender was. So if it's a Project 44 admin, it CCs their email. If it is the user for the customer, so NTG logs in, guy goes to send an email, it CCs it so that both the carrier and the customer can see who sent it, and they're both on the same email chain. So it makes it easy to keep tracking those two.
Cool.
Oh, yep. So perfect. What the carrier will want to do, and unfortunately because I'm logged in and have an account, it won't let me jump into what they would see, but you can click in the Network Management Center here, and it will send them through the process to confirm all of the MC, DOT, name, address information we have on them, have them update their contact information. So who is the best contact, create a password, username, etc. And then it drops them into their vision of the NMC, so that carrier side where they can add in their ELD, they can add subcontractors if they're a 3PL, and then accept customer invites as well. If the carrier already has access and they don't know their password, you can do a forgot password. And it also provides their information to our team as well if they have questions.
So if you jumped out right now of Nolan's environment and jumped into this environment, are you able to do that or no?
I could. It's going to be easier for me if I just impersonate Royce's Trucking Company.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is what I would do then. I just impersonate Royce's Trucking Company. Yep.
So feel free to do that. Let me jump back to the NMC. All right. So I don't know if you would want to do this for Nolan, for instance, because they can still see everything a carrier sees. So I don't know how far you want to take it, but for your purposes, if we wanted to look in at Royce's Trucking Company.
Oh, I want to take Nolan. I want to take Nolan, like, babysit these people to do it.
Huh?
I want to babysit Nolan. Like, I want to make sure Nolan sees all the screens, so like they're clear on what it is. Gotcha.
They still have access to all the screens, so there's nothing different between a 3PL's version of this and a carrier's version.
Okay.
So everything's the same. The difference is, so if you want to show them all that without showing them any other customers or what admin rights we have, you may just want to have them invite themselves, since they are a 3PL, and that would then put the invite in their environment so they can see what it looks like to have a pending customer request.
Okay, but I have to get them username and password.
You don't necessarily have to, because you'll be logged in as Mike Edwards from Project 44 in the Nolan group. All right, so like, let me do this. Let me remove this customer connection, remove, yep. Let me decline Nolan for this instance, but like if we are, so we're Nolan, we can add, before we do that, we can. Yep, so we got Nolan Transportation Group. this should be the right one. You hit next. It'll ask you to fill out the contact information for this because like they don't have a user yet, and that does make sense. You want to send that through, but it would, so if you create a user and then send it to them, it would pop them up in the pending customer requests. I would just set them up to not accept. It looks like they do have a contact, Dan Kwiatkowski. But set them up as a looks like they're not, because they're an API carrier, correct, for us?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're an API carrier. So if I'm in Nolan, I guess just for Monday in users, can I set their users up under users? All right, cool.
Yeah. Yep. So that's nice and easy. So, and that's a good transition. So we saw like what that looks like on a customer side to see like the pending invite. They accepted, it pops over here. So that's then I canceled the invite from or declined from my side, so it shows canceled here for the carrier. So it shows that like Arthur Hubbard, Gmail, the carrier, canceled this request. So they'll want to check on this.
Can we re-invite you?
Yeah, at any time.
I just want, yeah. Well, I just want to see it go through and you actually accepting.
Oh yeah, here. So we'll do the versus tracking code, next. Okay, and then so on customer side, we have decline, accept. I hit accept. Oop, pops right over here. And then if we go to impersonate Nolan. It says here, Royce's trucking code test accepted the invite. And then if we search, boom, there I am. So no asset, no ELD GPS added.
Because you still have to add it. You still have to add it.
Correct, yeah. For the test one, I haven't added. Well, I don't have a valid ELD, so I haven't even added one. It's just more to show that invitation process.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And then if you go back to the ELD GPS, this is, if we go back to the ELD GPS, we can see Samsara 1, invalid credentials. So we actually tell the carrier what they did wrong. You put the wrong credentials in.
Yep. Perfect. Yep. So any questions there from a adding carriers, inviting carrier standpoint from the manual process that is a one-to-one request?
And then once this is the thing I'm going to talk to Nolan about, like once we upload your whole carrier list, you'll see pending carrier requests right there.
Correct. Yep. They'll all be, anyone who isn't an auto accept will be sitting in this section until they accept.
And auto accept are ones that are already essentially live.
Yep.
And in the pending request, will we show them the volumes?
It will show it if they have volumes assigned to it. So via the bulk upload, it will show it. And then if they do the manual add, they have to add it to that.
So it sees it. And then the dashboard, if you go to the dashboard, can you go to the dashboard for me?
Yep.
Dashboard will show you pending invites, what volumes live are on, shipment volume. Yeah, because there's really no pending invites right now, technically.
Yeah, so this will be the carrier counts. This will represent volume once volumes are added. I don't know if the list probably didn't originally have volumes to it.
Project 44 development, what does that mean? Is that API?
That'd be, no, it won't ingest API now. It'll be carriers that have signed up as an ELD. So like if we go to ELD here.
That their ELD is not on. Will we also show declines, percentage of people that declined?
I don't know that. So we haven't had anyone bring that up. I know that's one of the requests that we had from the CS team to product. We wanted basically declined carriers pulled out and separated so that customers can address those separately. Don't know where that stands. I don't know if that's going into this dashboard. This dashboard is receiving feedback, but is not one of things to correct in the NMC at this moment in time.
Got it. But also they'll be able to see who's declined when you go to carriers, and they can see the list of who's declined.
They'll see who canceled.
Canceled.
So
which
right now they'll see who canceled.
Essentially a declined. And then do we have the and we have the button to download this sheet right here.
Yep. Every single one of the blocks that you see on any one of these is downloadable. So request history, it's all Excel, so it's pending request, carriers, customers requested, ELD information. The dashboard isn't downloadable, but you can click the carriers here to view. Even in the company settings, users you can download, and then same with the system log. I know we haven't gotten there just yet, but all of this is downloadable at every step of the.
Got it. And users, I can add them. I can add Nolan Transportation Group users. I'll probably do it after the demo, not before, but I can make them. Okay, cool.
Yep. So you want to add users. The one thing I will kind of point out here, one, unlike the VOC, you don't need a phone number. You can leave that blank. And then the difference here is between a contact person and an administrator. Contact people are needed by carriers to get invited. Administrators have the ability to invite carriers. So this is like an administrator is a customer inviting a carrier. A contact person is a carrier, like a rep at a carrier who will receive the invite.
And then read only is for anyone who just wants to look at it, but they can't invite.
They can't do any. They literally can just log in and read. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So why make them read only? Cool. I think this is great. This is very helpful. I need to go for the next 2 minutes and get ready for the 2:30, which is with you, Royce.
Yep.
So I am good to go. Thank you very much.
Yep. Mike, I will point out one thing for you. The help button up here, it holds videos, documentation for everything in the NMC, and then how to invite carriers as well. It's all searchable. It's all very detailed. So there is a ton of information here. I would advise customers to use it. Like, it's very granular if needed. So just a heads up, that is here. It is very helpful. Pantos was able to run their entire carrier onboarding operations via the NMC using just this button, because it tells them all about the templates. It gives them YouTube videos on how to invite, how to work, all that sort of stuff.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, Royce.
No problem. See you in 2 seconds, Mike.